And the worst of things are those that are newly invented. And every newly invented thing is an innovation, and every innovation is going astray, and every going astray will lead us directly to the fire. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm so honored to be here with you today. I heard so much about the lighthouse. In my travels, I said, what is this lighthouse? And I see why. The lighthouse is a very special place, as you know. When people are in the darkness, they always look for this lighthouse to provide them guidance. And I've never been to a place like this before, even like this whole setup. Like, this is, subhanAllah, man. Like, this is what will bring us freedom and what will bring us success in this life and the hereafter. And inshallah, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York, out of Cleveland, Ohio. So I know Cali is a different place, but inshallah, you can be patient with me in some of the things that I might say today. And if I say anything that you are not pleased with, that came from sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And as you know the story, he used to take these trips, and for those and for us who have been to Umrah, you know this place called Mount Hira, and you look up there and you say, wow, that's a long trek. It's a long trip to get up there. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he would take this trip, and as you know the story, one day he takes this trip and he finds an individual, a being that's already there. And you and I, we know this story as this being Angel Jibril. So you can imagine how nervous he had to be to take this trip and to see this being already there, and then for this being to request something from him that surely he could not do. Read. Now I'm just saying in my vernacular, but I can't read. Read. And I can't read. Read. I can't read. And it says, as the story goes, that he was squeezed. What you want me to read? That is deep. Like, if a person comes to me and says, Basheer, do a backflip. I'm like, man, I can't do no backflip. Do it. I can't do. He pulled out a gun. Hey, listen, man, let me do this backflip. Read. Iqra. Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord who creates. Now, this is the first conversation between Angel Jibril and the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Why would the first conversation be something that surely Allah knows he can't do? Now, you know that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was considered to be illiterate. He could not read, nor can he write. Why would the Lord of all the worlds, who knows everything, why would he tell him to do something that he knows he can't do? Iqra. Bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of your Lord. What is the lesson for you and me? That even the thing that you consider to be impossible in your life, as long as you have Allah with you, the impossible becomes possible. There may be struggles that you are dealing with in your life today. Maybe not you, but your cousins in it. Maybe y'all got it already. But where I come from, we got some struggles. And if you say you don't got no struggles, then lie in your struggle. So may Allah protect us from being liars against our own selves. We all are going through some struggle. We all are going through some pain. And as Muslims, you and I must understand that the best form of dawah is the beautiful smile that I got when I came up in here, man. The beautiful brothers, man, at the table. selling that beautiful gear. I hope to come out there and get every brother, man, Brother Muhammad, man, come give me some love, Brother Akil, my main man, Cal Fani. You know, I graduated from Morehouse College, and me and Cal Fani together is one of my closest brothers. And all the love that I receive, that's the form of dawah. When people are hungry, dawah comes in the form of food. When people are sick, dawah comes in the form of medicine. We all are going through struggles, man. And when people come into this hospital, they must receive the medicine. A lot of struggles that we have, we go to the masajids across the country, and we get so excited about people becoming Muslim, and we line up and we give them hugs and we kiss our sisters. Welcome to the fold of Islam. But the question we want to ask ourselves is, we're excited about Muslims who are coming, but what about when they call us a week later and talk to us about their struggles? Are we there for them then? We're excited about those who are becoming Muslim, but what about the back door where people are leaving Islam every single day? Why? Not because of the beauty of the religion, but because of the evilness of the hearts of the people who are there. You mean to tell me, brother, not you, your cousin. You mean to tell me, brother, you care more about her hair coming out than the fact that our Muslim sisters are dealing with domestic violence in our community? You mean to tell me that we care more about the gear or the clothes that brother is wearing? Brother, you tell me about my clothes and you don't even know my name. You don't know my struggles. You don't know my pain. You don't know what I'm going through. This man, the Prophet Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I want you to think about something. He was the mercy to mankind. Does that mean that he was the mercy to just Muslims? No. He was the mercy to mankind. We strive to be good people. It said that even the fishes make prayer for you. Because you are a benefit to all of the creation of God. But what was it about this man Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him? And as he began his journey, he leaves from this mountain, and whose arms does he run into? His wife. Now listen, sisters. Let's say today, your husband come home and say, sister, a spirit talked to me. And the spirit said that I am the next in line to be the priest. He said, listen, brother, father, my husband is out of his mind right now. He done came home and said that a spirit done told him that he is to be inspired to do something. Where would we be without Khadijah radiallahu anha? Can you imagine that? Our community can never grow and never be successful if our sisters do not have a voice in it. Your household will never grow if you don't listen to your wife. And sisters, just know this, that, you can either bring life or death with those words. So be mindful of that. Can you imagine where we would be if Khadijah said, hey, listen, you need to get up out of my house? Where would we be if Khadijah did not support the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him? Where would we be? Islam may have never reached us if it wasn't for Khadijah. So we continue the story. So Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, he was a mercy to all of mankind. And as I walked into the lighthouse, I felt that same energy, man. And this is the energy that's going to be needed today in these times. This is the energy of love that we are needed in this time. There's a conversation that takes place between Allah and Shaitan. Allah tells Satan to bow down. Bow down to Adam. Listen to the words of Satan. He says, Ana khayrun minhu. Khalaqtani min nar, khalaqtahu min tin. He says, I am better than him. You with me? He says, I am better than him. I was created from fire. He was created from dirt, from mud. The first racist was Shaitan. The first sexist was Shaitan. The first ism that you want to name come from Shaitan. Why? Because he believed that he was better solely based upon how he was created. So racism is not just standing on a satanic foundation. You gotta have some real mental health issues to be racist. To believe that you are better than somebody solely based upon what you look like. Or better than somebody solely based upon because you are a man or because you are a woman. What I'm saying to you is, does your heart shake for what happened to our brothers and sisters in Turkey and Syria? Does your heart shake at what's happening to our brothers and sisters in Yemen? In Chicago, in Cleveland? Does your heart shake for the family of Tyree Nichols? Did it shake before you found out he was Muslim, or did it shake because he was a human being? Are you moved by what happened to the creation of God, or are you only moved because they believe what you believe? Or you only moved because you believe that they're Muslim, or they believe what you believe, or they bow down how you bow down? I will continue to stand with our brothers and sisters in Turkey and Syria, and our brothers and sisters on the international scene. We must stand up for Palestine. We must stand up for the Muslims who are suffering around the globe. But I'm saying to my brothers and sisters that we need you to stand up for black and brown people in this country who are suffering under police oppression. It has to mean something to you, because you cannot be Muslim and not stand up for justice. How can you be Muslim and say that you love Allah and love the Prophet ﷺ, but you not stand up for justice of your neighbors? I'm not talking about y'all. The Lighthouse, y'all known for getting it in. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the state of Muslims in America. Because Muslims in America, if we don't get it right, then the global scene will continue to suffer. You can't do nothing for our brothers and sisters in Palestine if you do not mobilize here in America. Now, I know that we have some people up in the audience who, who work for other people. We know that. You'd be a fool to believe in a place so beautiful that you are not being watched and monitored. You'd be a fool to think that. That means that you don't study history. But Imam Malcolm X, he said something very beautiful. He said, you either at the table or you on the menu. And I'm tired of being on the menu as a Muslim community. And I know you feel the same way. So not until Muslims in America galvanize, not until our brothers and sisters of the Christian faith means as much to you as what's happening with our brothers and sisters in the Muslim faith. When we first became Muslim, I'm a third generation Muslim. And my grandparents became Muslim in the 70s in Brooklyn, New York. My grandfather was one of the founders of Masha Temple along with Imam Siraj al-Hajj. Islam has always meant so much to me. My mother, Imani is her name. She transitioned from breast cancer some years back. Please, if you can, put her in your du'as. And even while we were homeless, as we moved from Brooklyn, New York to Cleveland, Ohio, even while we were homeless, my mother would take us to go feed other homeless people. At a very young age, teaching us that no matter how bad you think you got it, somebody got it worse than you. No matter your situation, no matter your struggle. But where did she get this from? She got this from the mercy of all of mankind, which was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You want to follow the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Then let's take care of our neighbors. I don't care if she's not Muslim. If you would have met Malcolm X when he was Detroit Red, you would have never believed he would become one of the greatest human beings ever. But get out of Allah's business. You don't know the state of the human being. It ain't even your business to try to figure out a person's state. It is your business to give out the gift that Allah has given you. You see, every last one of us has gotten a gift. But it ain't a gift unless you give it away. You can't call yourself a farmer just because you got a bag of seeds. You ain't a farmer until you put it into the ground. Where would we be without the Muslims who came before us? You must understand that we stand on the shoulders of the nation of Islam. You can tell me about the theology all you want. Go to any hood in America. A brother may not even know how to say it, Salas Alaikum, but he knows that if you mess with that sister, there's going to be some quick consequences. You will be safer, sisters. Remember I told you, you are safer in the hoods of America than you will ever be in rural America. You better stop running from the hoods to try to go find the picket white fence in the rural America, and they will never accept you. But how did that happen? It's because black people and brown people sacrificed themselves in the hoods of America. And because of it now, look at their neighborhoods being gentrified more than any other place. It wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for black people going into these places and cleaning up these communities. So we must work together, brothers and sisters. Whether you're from Pakistan or India, whether you're from Somalia, whether you're from Yemen, from Saudi Arabia, from China, wherever you come from, you must work with black, brown, and white Americans, and we must work together in order for us to take this community forward. If we don't do that, if when people see you, they don't feel good. When people see you, they're not inspired. I don't care how much Arabic you know, brother. I don't care how much Quran you know. When Aisha radiallahu anha was asked, tell us about the prophet, they said he was a walking, talking Quran. What does that mean? That means that he implemented God's words in his everyday actions. The Quran is the greatest love story told. All throughout the Quran, Allah reminds us, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. How is it that we talk about hell more than Allah sometimes? Bismillahir Rahman, in the name of God, the beneficent, the most merciful. Are you speaking mercy to one another? Are you speaking love to one another? If you are not doing that, then how can we say you are following the Prophet Muhammad? Peace and blessings be upon him. So I close this part of the khutbah to say to you, love is the key. But there is no love if you are not standing for justice. You can't say that you love me, but you're not standing with me when I need you the most. May Allah give us the courage to stand up for those who need us. May Allah forgive me for anything I've said that was not right. We give all praise to Allah. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You know, as we travel through life, we desire to be friends with God, don't we? This is something that we want. And if you study the history, if you study the Quran, who was considered to be the friend of God? Ibrahim, alayhi salatu wa salam. As you go on Umrah, you go to Hajj, you must follow the footsteps of Ibrahim. You must follow the footsteps of his wife. You can't even complete it without doing that. A beautiful, beautiful black woman. Ibrahim didn't call himself the friend of God. Allah called him his friend. You may think to yourself like, but what does it take to be the friend of God? Study Ibrahim. Look at the stress Ibrahim went through, the struggle that Ibrahim went through. Goodness gracious. And as you study the history of Ibrahim, alayhi salatu wasalam, he was, because of his belief, because of what he stood for, he is being thrown in what is considered to be the biggest fire ever created. And the angel came to him, said, you know, what you want me to save you from this? And his response was, Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is sufficient for me at the disposal of my affairs. He lands into the fire, and at that moment, Allah says to the fire, be a place of comfort for Ibrahim. Now, in my mind, if God is my friend, I'm like, yo, in this fire. I mean, I can think of a lot of different prayers to make in my mind. Put me in Hawaii, put me somewhere else. Don't let me fall into this fire. But his response was, Allah is sufficient for me. And as a result, Allah made the fire a place of comfort. If you are a human being, as you all are, we all going through our own fires, ain't it? We all going through something, man. Right now, some of you may be going through emotional fires, maybe financial. Maybe your relationship is not going right. Maybe it's some issues that you're having at your job. Whatever the case may be, we all are going through our own fire. But Ibrahim didn't ask to remove the fire. He just said that Allah is sufficient. You know, I was reflecting upon this, as we all should reflect upon the Quran. The Quran is a book that likes to be reflected upon. And I was thinking about the fire is a cleansing property. Just like water. The fire cleanses too. And listen, brothers, there is some pain that you must go through. You don't even know your friends until the gas tank is on empty. You don't even know your friends until the thunderstorm comes. Don't just be with me when the gas tank is on full. You don't know who you truly are until your heart is broken. Like a coconut, man. You look at a coconut, you're like, man, this fruit don't look like it'd be any benefit. But it's broken, boy, oh boy, the contents within the coconut is very beneficial. You don't know who you are, brother, till your heart is broken. I look at my son, right? My son, he's so loving, you know, he's so loving, man, you know. My wife is like, you know, I just want to have a beautiful wife when he gets there. I say, okay. He needs his heart broken. Once his heart gets broken, boy, oh boy, he's going to become something beautiful. Don't say that. I don't want to listen, sister, with all due respect. He needs his heart broken. Because once his heart gets broken, that is the man that he needs to become. You don't need no little boy who ain't never been told no before. You need to hear no sometimes. You need to go through some earthquakes. So yes, our brothers and sisters in Turkey and Syria, and if you have not helped them in some way, that's a dead heart. And may Allah save us from having dead hearts. But many of us are also facing earthquakes in our own lives, aren't we? We all are going through some type of earthquake and recognizing that Allah is sufficient for you. And don't ask Allah to stop the fire. Ask Allah to make that fire a place of comfort for you. And when you walk through that fire, it's a cool place. That everybody is seeing you, and they say, man, look at what that brother's going through. Look at what that sister is going through. And you look like it's a little bit too comfortable in this fire. No, don't ask Allah to remove the fire. Ask Allah to make it a place of comfort for you, because there's some lesson that you can only get in the fire. You got to go through it, baby. You got to go through the pain. You got to go through the struggle. There's lessons in your struggle. There's lessons in your pain. You must go through it. So for all of our brothers who are going through pain right now, stop thinking that Allah must hate me because I'm going through pain. No, that is a sign of Allah's love for you, because Allah wants to bring you close. Come here. You're going a little bit too far. Come over here. Allah wants to hear your call, sister. He wants to hear you call on him. Allah is not far from you, brother. Allah is close. Said that he is closer to you than your jugular vein. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. You mean to tell me Allah is close? You mean all the struggles that I'm going through, and all the pain that I'm dealing with, and going through this human experience? You mean to tell me that Allah is close to me? When I don't got nobody else, and I lost my job, I don't have my wife, I don't have my husband, I'm going through this, I lost my child, I lost my mother, I'm going through this pain. You mean to tell me that Allah is still with me? Allah's with you. And guess what? And he ain't never left you. He ain't never left you either. The rope of Allah does not break, but we choose to let it go sometimes, don't we? Hadith Qudsi, it says that when you walk to Allah, Allah runs to you. Isn't that something? You mean to tell me Allah would run to me? All of these human beings, all of the creation of God, you mean to tell me that I'm having a unique conversation with God? that my conversation with him is only between me and him. Man, oh man. I know you're struggling. I know some of you may have thought when I became Muslim, I thought everything was going to be heaven. No. You got to walk through some hell sometimes. But the real hell is the distance from Allah. That's the hell. But you got to go through some pain. You better talk to your elders. For my young brothers, if you don't have, you got a teacher, but you better make sure you got the right teacher. You better make sure Lil Wayne ain't your teacher, brother. You better make sure of it. You better make sure Nicki Minaj ain't your teacher. I know y'all don't know what I'm talking about right now. But you better make sure that ain't your teacher. Because whoever you listen to most is your teacher. You better be mindful of the music that you're listening to because it has an impact on your emotions. I was talking to my students. One of my students, he said, I'm just angry. I said, why are you so angry every day? He said, I don't know, it's just my regular face. I said, I ain't your regular face, man. I said, who were you listening to last night? He said, no, I went to sleep listening to 3 6 Mafia. I said, I know y'all know what I'm talking about, but you go to listen to 3 6 Mafia, bro. You're going to wake up angry. Music has an impact on your emotions. You better be careful who your friends are, because you are on the deen, you are on the religion of your friends. But just know, my brothers and sisters, in closing, that just because you're going through pain, it don't mean it's always a punishment. It could be Allah bringing you closer to Him. And we thank Allah for that. And we ask Allah not to remove the fire. Nah, just let us be comfortable in Allah. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. Let us be comfortable in that fire. And I close with this, brothers and sisters. Be merciful, number one, to yourself. Be merciful to yourself. I know you got some sins. I know you did something that you're not proud of. I know. Allah knows. But you know, some sins can bring you closer to Allah. And some good deeds can make you arrogant. I know you did some things you're not proud of. We're not perfect. Allah said, if you was perfect, we will destroy you and create a creation that was imperfect so that they could know our mercy. How would you know that Allah is al-Ghafur, the forgiving, if you ain't even forgiven? How would you know Allah is as-Sabur, the patient, if you ain't need His patience? How would you know Allah is as-Shakur, the grateful, if you did not do things that He'd be grateful for? Can you imagine that Allah is grateful to us? To a creation that He does not need, but yet He is still grateful to us? So brothers and sisters, be merciful to yourselves. Forgive yourself. It was not your fault. It's okay. Move forward. Forgive yourself, brother. Forgive yourself, sister. And secondly, be merciful to each other, man. Brother, give me salams and mean it, brother. How you doing, brother? Alhamdulillah. And just keep on. No, brother, like, assalamu alaikum. This is a beautiful, this is amazing. Peace be upon you. I mean, do you really mean it when you say that? Do you really want peace to be upon me? Or you just saying like, what's up? Be merciful to each other. Because that goes further. Don't give me unwanted advice. I didn't even ask you for the advice. You don't even know my name and you already giving me advice. That's like going to a doctor's office and the doctor look at you like, yeah, I got some pharmaceutical medicine for you. He ain't asking my symptoms. He didn't ask me nothing. He just giving me medicine. Our teachers say that spiritual malpractice is worse than medical malpractice. Because now you don't use Allah. I remember when I was younger, brothers used to say, brother, you're dressing like the kuffar. I'm like, man. And I wore a thobe for like 2 years after that, thinking that Arab culture was Islam. Messed me up, man. So be merciful to each other. Be loving to each other. Try to figure out each other's conditions. And try to be of assistance to each other. And if a sister or a brother does something and you see them doing something, be kind to them, man. Make excuses for each other. Because you never know what people are dealing with. And your energy could be the very thing that pushes a person off the edge. So give love. This is the way of the Prophet says. We know what he said about committing sins, but how did he treat the sinner? We know what he said about drinking, but how did he treat the drunkard? This is what I want you to think about. May Allah bless you, protect you, and strengthen you, and guide you. May Allah give you the best of this life, the best of the hereafter, and save you from hellfire. May Allah bless our brothers and sisters in Turkey and Syria. May Allah protect them and find them healthy and happy, and find all of those who have been missing. May Allah bless our brothers and sisters in Africa, all across the continent who are suffering. May Allah help them. May Allah bless our brothers and sisters in Palestine. May Allah give them victory over their oppressors. Oh Allah, we ask you to bless our brothers and sisters all across the Muslim world. And we ask Allah to bless humanity, no matter what their faith is. May Allah bless them and protect them and strengthen them and guide them. And may Allah bless us to be the lighthouse of whatever community we live in. Amen. Keep us up.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah. Qum qawmat as-salah, qum qawmat as-salah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.